It'll be 1 to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Okay, we're pleased to be joined in the media center with today's race winner and his crew chief, Tony Stewart, driver of the number 14 Office Depot Old Spice Chevrolet for Stewart Haas Racing, and his crew chief, Darien Grubb. Congratulations to these guys for winning the Price Chopper 400 presented by Kraft Foods here at Kansas Speedway. For Tony, it's his 4th victory in 2009, his 2nd victory here at Kansas Speedway.
And nobody else got to put their recorder up here. You're not going to be the only one.
Moves him up to 4th in the points in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Championship. And also the win today, Chevrolet clinches its 33rd Manufacturers Championship. Tony, congratulations on the win. Tell us how that happened out there today.
It happened because we were the first guy across the finish line, but to break it down a little more complicated than that, you know, the good thing was we got 2 tires at the end there, and Darien made a great call getting 2, and the guys had an awesome stop. I mean, that was really what it boiled down to. You know, we got that track position at the end, and we had the luxury of being able to pick the inside or outside lane on the restart, and I kind of debated back and forth which side I needed to be on, but I kind of struggled when I was stuck on the bottom on restarts today. So you know, took a gamble and went to the top and got enough of a lead on Casey to get down to the bottom by the time we got to 1 and 2, and was able to run our line, and we got enough of a gap right off the bat that you know, it gave me the flexibility to run my own line, run my own pace, and let those guys have to worry about catching us.
Okay, Darien, talk about some of that strategy that Tony was sharing with us there that helped you win this race.
It was pretty tough. We had to make a decision there, being 2 or 4 tires towards the end, but we had a lot of laps on the tires. With 2 stops before that, we'd done 2, and it actually worked pretty well for us. We gained a lot of track position, and Tony was able to hang on a little better than some of the other cars that took 2. So we knew we had a shot at it, and we knew the track position was going to be key, so we had to do that to be able to get out there and race those guys that were so fast. And we were hanging out with them all day, but we couldn't get in front of them to be able to outrun them, so we knew we had to do something there at the end to get that track position.
Okay, we'll take questions now for either Tony or Darien. We'll start over here with this gentleman, and then we'll go to Joe. Go ahead.
Tony, Scott Trailer Sports Radio 810, the Racing Boys. At the end of the race, you said you could tell Jeff was coming. Did you pick it up a little bit, or maybe he'd fall off? I mean, did you just kind of try to keep that gap between you at the end of the race?
We just kind of ran our pace. I mean, it's easy when somebody starts running you down. It's easy to overdrive your car trying to maintain a gap, and you end up making it worse on yourself. So we just, you know, even though I saw him getting bigger in the mirror, you know, I didn't want to burn the tires off of it in case we got a caution and had a green-white checkered. So we just ran hard enough to not abuse the tires, and it's like he could get so close, and then he couldn't get any closer. So, you know, when he got up there, he got tight, and you know, he had to run pretty hard to get by Greg and then to run us down. So by then, he pretty much got the good off his tires, and you know, we'd got the luxury to kind of on that restart run our own pace and take care of it and make sure that you know, we made it last the whole way.
Go ahead, Joe.
Joe Menzer, NASCAR.com. How much debate did you guys have over 2 or 4? I mean, were you in agreement right away? I mean, some of the guys talked about.
We did, actually. I mean, you know, he asked me what I thought. I kind of put my vote in, and he said, you know, it was exactly what he was thinking. So, I mean, it made me feel good that I felt like, you know, when we both agree on the same thing like that quick, I mean, it was like to both of us, it wasn't even an option. I mean, we pretty much knew what we both needed.
Let's get Randy the mic over here, please.
Hi, Randy Kovitz, Kansas City Star. For both of you, you hit a little lull. You had like, what, 6 straight races of 9th or worse. Can you just kind of talk about your mindset and how you kind of reversed it and what's this mean?
You want to start?
Yeah, we still approach every race the same. We've had a few races in the last few weeks that just weren't up to the standards we had set that we wanted to have, but we got the best out of every situation we were in and got the best finish we possibly could. So by doing that, we know we're going to keep setting the tone. We're going for wins every week. We know we have to win to be able to win the chase for the championship. And today was just a good example of how hard you have to fight and how close the competition is between all these guys. We swapped lead tons of times today between all the actual competitors for the championship. So you got to be able to compete against those guys and race them, and also race your race and just go for the wins. That's the only way you're going to be able to make up any ground.
I agree exactly 100% with what he said there. I mean, that's exactly right. I mean, you just have to take those bad days, and like Darien said, I mean, they weren't days that we wanted, but at the end of the day, no matter what the circumstance that got us behind, I mean, we were able to rebound from it, not get all the way up to where we wanted, but we were able to make gains on it at the end and salvage a better finish than where we were. So, whatever the scenarios were, we were able to overcome part of it. But, as long as you do that at the end of the day, I mean, obviously the outcomes weren't what we wanted, but the fact that it just shows this team doesn't have any quit in them, and that's what it's going to take to get back on top.
Go ahead.
Bruce Martin with SI.com. Speaking of making gains, entering the race, there were only 3 drivers within 106 points of the lead. Now there's 6. So how important is that? And you're one of the guys that made up a sizable amount of points today. How important is that right now?
Well, it depends on who you're talking to. It's not important to me that there's that many guys there. I mean, I want to be within 10 points of it, obviously, but, it shows how competitive this chase is. I mean, guys that were up front there had average days, and a lot of guys closed on them today. So, it just shows that you're going to have to be on for 10 weeks to win this thing, and, if you have a bad day, there's going to be guys that are going to capitalize on it.
Let's get Jen on mic, please.
Jenna Fryer, Associated Press. 2 elements that you guys have already talked about, the start to the chase. I'm wondering how disappointing for that, because of how good you guys had been, were the first 2 races of the chase. And then, Darien, you said you knew you were going to have to win races. Were you feeling yet in a must-win situation with the way the 48 and the 5 had performed the first 2 weeks?
No, we knew coming into the chase it was a must-win situation. You're going to have to win races against these competitors. I mean, these guys have probably won 80% of the races this season in the chase, so you have to go into mindset. You have to win races. Those last 2 weeks, our first 2 weeks of the chase, the last 2 performances we had, they weren't what we wanted, but it's what our team needed to do. We came back from 36th to 9th at Dover and came back from 33rd to 14th at Loudon in very short amounts of time. So we were able to salvage what we could out of those races, and we actually became a stronger team and fixed some problems, and we're working a little harder. We know what details we're missing now to become a strong championship contending team. You have to take a positive out of it every week. If you don't, you're never going to be moving forward. If you just take negatives, all you're going to be doing is beating yourself down.
Go ahead, Steve.
Steve Richards of PRN. Tony, could you talk about how nice it is for your team back with Chevrolet to help them clinch the Manufacturers' Championship today?
Yes, it's a proud moment. I mean, Chevy's been a big part of my career, and General Motors in general has. So, to be the team that wins the race today and locks down the championship for them, I mean, that's a huge sense of pride for us leaving here today, and something that we hope they're as proud of us helping and doing our part in that as we are.